But this is, we are talking about transition in energy. Let's bring up the banner here right now, Shep, the transition in energy. People out there, I love Bitcoin, it's doing that. But wait a minute, the Bitcoin mining and this cryptocurrency is becoming a real problem with CO2 emissions. For starters, it's all getting, so much of it's now getting mined in China. Why does it get mined there? Because that's the cheapest electricity in the world. Now, what's that electricity coming from? It's coming from coal plants. So you think this Bitcoin mining there, and I hold Bitcoin, but I'm green energy. If you hold Bitcoin, then essentially the chances are that it's coal power that's powered the creation of what you hold in your wallet. And now people are thinking, wait a minute, well, I don't really like that. And then Elon Musk now suddenly starts getting negative press on this. So suddenly he comes out and makes this announcement. Well, wait a minute, I'm a green energy company. I've got a company that's basically been flying a spaceship to Mars, to create this new lifestyle for us because we're going to, implode in this country. And by the way, I'm now influential in Bitcoin and I'm forcing the price up. I'm forcing more people to open wallets. I'm forcing more people to basically get excited and buy Bitcoin for wealth generation. Oh, wait a minute. I'm increasing the CO2 emissions of this. Now, if people actually start to think about it, I was doing some research and we should maybe do some more on this, Shep, because it's super interesting.
Okay. Yes.
But if you start to think about, I read that Bitcoin now creates the same amount of CO2 emissions as Argentina.
Wow.
It's like Bitcoin creates more CO2 emissions than London on a daily basis. And you're talking a massive city of 10 to 15 million people. We're talking Greater London, by the way. You're not just London city centre, Buckingham Palace and all that. You're talking Greater London, a mass amount of people, 15 million people. Bitcoin creates more CO2 emissions in it. And that is amazing. So if you look at it here, it's just like, how can this cryptocurrency be doing that? And Elon Musk now came out and did another tweet saying he's starting to speak to the renewable energy community in terms of, can we create enough renewable energy to start Bitcoin mining? Now, if you've got a wind energy company, you've got a solar energy company, to me right now is hook up one of these Bitcoin supercomputers and start generating the electricity for free from the sun. Because if you generate that electricity and you're doing that, you're actually powering green Bitcoin. You believe that, Shep?
Yes, do.
So it's like, that's what's in itself. And, a lot of the mining, and now they're talking about, is going out to Iran as well. So, the Iranian market space, they reckon it's going to start mining about 5% of the world's Bitcoin. And that's from the flaring of natural gas. So you're going to have gas. So the oil and gas sector is going to be generating the electricity for mining Bitcoin as well. So if people start to think about it, we're talking about transition in energy. We're wanting to move to this carbon neutral world. And we look at this technology of the blockchain and the fractionalization of ownership, the Bitcoin, new digital currencies, this new digital world. But really, this new digital world needs a lot of electricity. And as we all go online more and more, and as we want to be hooked up to be faster and faster, we need more electricity. And Bitcoin is just one of these byproducts going forward. So if we don't find ways to create green energy to power the mining of Bitcoin, this could end up splitting it. And Bitcoin, there's no announcements coming out there, because I know something like Ethereum. And, we could maybe do a section on this when we start looking at, Visa, MasterCards. These guys are under pressure to be CO2 friendly. And I wonder what the CO2 transaction, the CO2 footprint is from a Visa transaction compared to Bitcoin mining. We should do a video just on that, Shep. I think we'll do that. So it's just like, so people start to be aware of what this is, because when we're talking about what we've created, this world and going forward, everything is interconnected. Every single thing we do. And it's just like, and if you look at Bitcoin and all these trees and people are looking at it thinking, yes, Bitcoin's creating trees. No, we're chopping down those trees. All those, how many forests do we have to chop down to make one Bitcoin? We could work that out as well, Shep. It's like, this is the future, people. This is the absolute future. So it's super exciting, So anyway, I just thought we'd go on a little bit about this. And then coming back to our project, Shep, let's just have a quick chat to finish off with that. If you talk about what we're doing like asset-backed tokens. So I think if people think, okay, well, I understand this, there's this technology with a blockchain, so in order for Bitcoin to be created, it's operating on a blockchain. Ethereum's operating on a blockchain. So all these things are these blockchains. And then what we're doing is we're operating in a blockchain, but we're tokenizing assets. So essentially, if Bitcoin, like a cryptocurrency, is not backed against anything, what we're doing is we're creating a token on token by token basis against energy assets. And this could be a gold mine and the gold that it produces. It could be an oil field and the oil infrastructure and the oil it produces. And what it does is it allows fractional ownership. So these are asset-backed tokens. They're actually closer in thing to the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, than it is a cryptocurrency itself. But I really think that what we're developing, these types of security tokens, is really something in the middle. It's closer to an NFT. It's not like a cryptocurrency for a means of exchange. We're tokenizing these energy assets and we're allowing fractional ownership. And I actually think what we are creating right now is going to be, it'll be, to me, if it works, and it's not just us, there's a lot of companies involved in doing this, but when it starts to work, this is where you're going to see mass adoption from the general public into the technology of blockchain, into the technology of tokenization, these asset-backed tokens. We've written a white paper about it with the University of Florida, University of Michigan, Columbia University. They were all co-authors in the paper. They should just drop us a message, get a copy of the paper, start to understand the terminologies and process. But what we've also done is the Energy Tokens website's now live. We're starting to add content to it. And in the library section right now, we're starting to update it with terminology. And we're doing a sort of video library version of Investopedia, but really for the blockchain space and tokenization and transition in energy. So in there, you'll get segments of what we're talking about today, but you'll also have segments about the renewable energy companies we're focusing on. And then we'll talk more and more about Bitcoin and this new technology. And I think in going forward for the next one, we should really look at whether Bitcoin's going to be 100% green or not. What do you reckon, Shep?
It's probably not.
Exactly. All right, perfect. So let's get back to the rest of the show and see what's happening chewing the cud, guys.